Hi there, a very good morning and good afternoon to all of you, depending on wherever you're hearing me and watching me. This is Simply Stocks, and I'm live in this live session with you all. And this session is a Sunday session which revolves around some of the stocks that I feel are coming at very attractive levels in the large cap indexes. And I believe that those can be accumulated from a 9 months point of view, 8 9 months time frame, and a target that is 25 30% from here can easily be achieved. So we'll discuss about that. I'll discuss about the markets. Hello to all of you. Hi, Ms. Priya. Good morning, Mr. Pawar, and hope more people join in as it's a Sunday afternoon, and hopefully things should be going well for you in terms of trading and investments, as the market have stabilized a great deal from it used to be, say, 2 3 months back. In May we had a very tumultuous month, and June we had a little bit better kind of a month in terms of volatility, and July has been decent, especially for companies in the consumer domain. Things are much better now, and it looks like things will get only better, even better from where it is currently. So uh, hopefully going forward we are going to have a situation in which uh, the markets per se will get only will have a better momentum to it, apart from whatever that happens in August could be difficult, but other months should be good enough. So that's the call. So there was a problem. So there was a problem with the stream. I have rectified it a little bit. Hopefully, the stream should go smoothly from here on in. So what I was mentioning here is that some of the marquee stocks in the consumer domain are coming at very attractive levels, and the situation with respect to the market will only get better as we go along. August could be difficult, but in some time to come. From September onwards, things should get better. So these stocks that I'll discuss, 4 5 stocks, in my opinion, these are renowned companies. But for me, personally speaking, if I had money, I would have been putting in big chunks into these companies at this point of time from a 9 to 12 months perspective, and getting around 25 30% would be very much viable with the way the markets should behave from October onwards. So we'll discuss about that. So hopefully the trading and investment journey of yours is going pretty well, and the market has stabilized. So let's just discuss about the markets a little bit, and then we move along to the main topic, and then I'll answer your queries as well in this 20 25 minute session that we are going to have. So very good afternoon to all of you, and hopefully if you are people who follow sports would be loving this July and hopefully August as well. We are having multiple cricket series going on, and then we are having the World Athletic Championship, and then we have the Commonwealth Games in the latter half of the month. So looking forward to all of these things, and hopefully India do well in all of these events as well. Uh, Now, coming back to the markets, I believe the markets are stabilizing. Yes, there is a question of a steep rate hike by end of July by the US Fed, but that is priced in at around 15,000, 15,300. But what will happen is once the market would run up, as I mentioned again, once the market will run up to something like 16,800, 16,700, round about there, there is ought to be selling. Now how much that selling will be, we don't know, but I have a feeling that after that we could fall steeply over 1 month till August, because the results of most of the companies you can say the bad results part of the result season would come in August, and during that period we will have a situation where these stocks will fall and mid cap and small cap indexes will fall, and there will be a kind of profit booking kind of a scenario in August. But from September onwards things should get better, and all companies in the consumer domain and also in the export oriented sectors like IT, pharma, chemicals, etc., should end up performing pretty well. So that is my assessment of the companies and sectors per se. And so in that regard I have brought to you some 4 5 companies which could do extremely well from a 8 months perspective or so. So in that sense I would like to just bring forward to you some of those companies. First one is TCS. In my opinion, TCS at these levels, on these you can say at these valuations, look very good, around 3029.50 levels. I believe that around 25950 3000 it can be accumulated. Yes, they have talked about a lot of problems with respect to order book, etc., and that there is a sense of a recession that could take place in US. But that is where the opportunity is. I don't think this will last more than a quarter. Even in US, people are talking about rate cuts till December, and then a lot of rate hikes, or a couple of rate hikes till December, and a couple of rate cuts by middle of next year. So if you can have a time frame of 9 to 12 months, I think around 2900 3000 is very good levels to buy into something like a TCS, and have a target of 3800 or so coming in probably in the next 9 months or so. So that's the first point. Now a lot of people are asking about IT companies and the IT sector. I am also invested in that sector, so that's a disclaimer. But I believe IT is going through a phase in which a bottom will be made in the next couple of months, and from October onward things should look up, even though on the ground things might not look that good. So whatever that the market does prices in early, and then when things are really bad on the ground, then those stocks will perform. So I think there will be another round of selling in August. There will be some sort of buying that is already taking place, but some sort of 8 10% buying into mid cap IT stocks, and then uh, a decent amount of selling probably in August. But by September, mid September, things should look up there as well. So TCS is my first pick from that basket. Second is from the from the pharma basket. I believe Divi's Lab has made a bottom and now is looking very good technically from a 1 year point of view. Second thing is that pharma as a sector has gone through a lull phase for the past at least 1 year or so, at least 1 year, if not 2 years. Because during the pandemic, when the pandemic began, pharma did extremely well for 2 3 months, and then it went into a zombie kind of a situation, and had a big run in 21 as well, 2021. But after that, for the past 1 year, things are not that great. So I believe Divi's Lab can be accumulated here for again a target that is around 25% from the current levels, and a time frame of around 9 10 months or so. By holi of next year or so, things should be good there, and you should achieve your targets there. So Divi's Lab is my second pick. Third in the list is Titan. I think Titan did go below 2000, went to 1850, now at 2100 2200. If you get opportunity to buy at 2100, I think this festive season will be big for companies like Titan or DMart or all those companies like uh, Vedant Fashions and so on and so forth. But Titan is coming at reasonable valuations. It is always expensive. It was at 2700, 2800. It came back to 1800 and now around 2000. So it has gone up a little bit, but around 2000 is a very good buy again for a target that is closer to 2600 or so. I think 2600 is a reasonable target to think of. 2550, 2600. It could go higher than that, but I think 2600 is very much achievable. So Titan is my third pick in the list that one can look for. So that's the third pick. The fourth in this list of my stocks is something like one from the fashion industry, and this is Nika, a stock that not many people are talking about at the moment. I think around 1400, 1350, it is stabilizing. One can take a risk here and buy into the stock. I don't see much downside in the stock of Nika from these 1350, 1400 levels. I feel a good 30% upside is possible by January, February. I think 1800 is a realistic possibility from here on in. Somebody who has not bought can buy here. Somebody who's bought at 1900, 2000 can average around here, and for a target of 1800, 1750, 1800 by January. So that's another pick on my behalf. So Nika is another pick. So TCS, Divi's Lab, Nika, these are very decent companies to probably get into for this festive season, and in which these companies should end up doing well, and Titan as well should do well. Another company that I have talked about, which I talked about earlier as well, and that was DMart. I talked about it at 33, 3400. I'm talking about it even now at around 4000. I think DMart around these levels of 3800 look good for a target of 5000 in about 8 to 9 months. And really, if you can get it around 3700, 3800, these are good levels to accumulate. 5000 is a realistic possibility by December, January. So that's another stock for you that you can probably look at. And why I'm saying that you look at these, and I'm not talking of mid or small cap companies, not that these are not available, but currently these are like these large cap companies or larger mid cap companies are like full tosses. In these, you can easily make 20% and you'll not realize it. And that is where most of the market or most of the participants would put in money, and that is where the market eventually will go up. And then the select mid and small caps will go up, and they will go up many folds. They'll go up to 3x. But you don't know which one of those will do well. But in this case, in case of these large cap, they will perform, and they should do something like 25% or so. So uh, very decent companies these. Kindly do have a look at them, and hopefully in the coming months you'll be able to make a good amount of profits in these companies. So uh, do have a look at these, and do invest into them. And over a period of time, hopefully, if not in 6 9 months, but hopefully in 6 9 months you will make money. But over a period of say year and a half, things should be much better. So these are some of the top companies. So I'm ready to answer your queries. Kindly use the super chat and super sticker feature. That will help me grow the channel. That will help you also ask me questions and eke out answers in greater detail. So Abhijit, KPIT. KPIT is a stock that I hold as well. So I think 450, 460 is a decent support here. And I will not be surprised if we see 800 on the stock by December, January of this year, and 1100 by January of 2024. These are my targets on KPIT. I believe that currently it could go through a phase of correction and consolidation for the next 4 5 weeks, but things should look up after that. So L&T Infotech is a buy at these levels. One can start accumulating. Ion Exchange, I'm not that sure. Ion Exchange can do well once government, you can say, incentives towards cleaning up of many places, and other things take place. So there are a lot of things attached to while uh, Ion Exchange will do well. Although Ion Exchange as a company is perhaps one of the best in terms of return ratios and everything like numbers, etc. But in the next 1 year or so, I don't see it doing extremely well compared to something like L&T Infotech. So Dalmia Bharat is a top-notch, you can say, cement company. Should do well from October onward. It has so cement has had a very bad period over the last 12 15 months. Hopefully, going forward, it should do well again. 25 30% upside over the next 1 year possible on the stock, but there could be some correction in the next 3 4 weeks. So that's the call. I would say Vedant Fashion is a better company, below 1,000 if you can get it around 980 or so, rather than Aditya Birla Fashion. I know it looks cheaper compared to Vedant, but the kind of profitability and numbers that Vedant is producing, I would say one can shift there on declines. So that's the call. Uh, KPR Mills is good. I believe KPR Mills is a decent company to invest into from a 3 year point of view. I would not suggest that you trade into the stock because there are a number of factors with respect to debt and other factors that are attached to the company. But from a long term point of view, one can invest. So Mastech is falling because of the UK recession or the fear of it. Mastech has a lot of you can say investments in UK, and their business per se comes from UK. Uh, I believe that most of the fall is done and dusted, but over the next 1 month we could see up and down movement. There is, I feel, results of Mastech on 20th. I have Mastech in my portfolio, so that's a disclaimer. So results are on the 20th. Let's see how that goes. In my opinion, it is coming at very attractive levels at 16 times, 15, 16 times 1 year forward, and 13 times 2 year forward earnings. So I would say it's a hold, and probably it should perform from 18 months perspective. Uh, See, it's difficult to say in terms of growth. Tata Elxsi Ganesh looks good, but Tata Elxsi around 7300, 7400 would be good, 10% lower from the current levels. LTTS can be bought into, but the growth there is problem with growth in terms of LTTS. So, in my opinion, Tata Elxsi is something that can be looked at on slight decline if you compare both. So, Sai, the rally was over about 6 8 months back. It's not that, but I have talked about IT being the sector for the decade, and I feel at this point of time it is not because I'm invested into it. Yes, invested into a couple of those stocks, but I believe the way it has fallen, the IT stocks over the last 6 8 months by around 30 32 and 33%. The index is down 33%. Stocks are down 50 to 60%. I think this is a great opportunity from a 18 months perspective to buy into mid cap IT stocks and have margin of safety, because you cannot buy a KPIT at 800. Then once it goes to 800, then you buy. This is after a 30 40% move in the stock. Then there is a greater danger of the stock coming back to 650 600. So when should you buy a stock? Absolutely, you buy a stock when there is a lot of bad news and the company is good. So if there is a sector wise bad news and the sector, that bad news will go away in 1 or 2 quarters, I think this is something to invest into. I have a feeling that all these talk of recession, etc., is there. Yes, it is there for sure, but this is what we wanted or not, because of the kind of inflation that we had. So I don't know why people get really upset when they listen to something that they already know about, because this is exactly what needs to happen, and this is exactly what is happening, what we needed, that inflation had to come down. For inflation to come down, you had to stall growth. There was no other way out with the kind of printing that the US Fed had done. So in terms of all that, I believe that this is a 1 or 2 quarter thing. June quarter has passed by. September is probably another quarter in which you will hear about all this news, and from October onwards, things will look better. But there on in, the stocks would be higher, and by December, when people will talk about rate cuts by June of next year, by then the stocks would have gone up. So this is the time to buy into stressful sectors, or sectors where there is temporary sell off, and that sector is producing very good numbers and order book is there. I think it is going to perform. So yes, from short term point of view, the run is over and there could be more fall in August, but from 1 year to 2 year perspective, IT looks very good. So I'll do about Tarzan products, Priya. I'll have a look at that stock. I have not looked at the stock at the moment. Okay. So Dr. Lal is good from a 3 year perspective. Abbott is good from a 10 year, 8 year perspective, like a generational stock. And look at the way Abbott gives dividends. So in that regard, Abbott looks good on that factor. I won't say HCL. I think TCS, and if you really want to buy something else there, then Infosys. Those look good. The way HCL results have come out, not very impressed by that. So Tata Consumer around 720, 730 was good. Around 800, it's a sell. 800, 820. I still feel it's expensive. But if somebody can get it around 700, it's a very good buy there. So Reliance is also one of my picks. I have not talked about it in those 4 or 5 picks that I talked about, but Reliance around 2200, 2250 is a very good buy. I think Reliance a target of 3000 over the next 2 years. It should do well. I cannot tell. I mean, it's very difficult to say in 1 year's time frame where it will be, but in 2 years, it seems like that a reasonable target of 3000 is very much possible in 18 to 24 months on something like a Reliance. Tanla has gone through a lot of correction. Numbers are decent. I think if you want to buy from a 3 year perspective, yes, Tanla looks good now rather than at 2100. But there are other companies, other sectors that you can definitely invest in with a greater assurity than something like a Tanla. So that's the call there. All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot for being online. Please like and subscribe my channel. Hit the bell icon so you can get my videos straight away when I post it. Kindly support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching.